Okay, welcome back. Last time we were together, we were looking at primary trig ratios where we were looking for variables which were in the numerator. And we, saw a bunch of examples of that. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at examples where the variable is in the denominator. So we're going to follow that same cookbook recipe of exactly how to do primary trig ratio problems. So I'm going to just draw out another triangle here. And what we're going to do then is we are going to, of course, try and solve it. But this time, what we're going to be looking for, and it's a bit of a hint, of course, is we're going to be looking for when the variable is in the denominator. So I'm going to put an x here, and I'm going to say this looks to be like, 27 degrees. And I'm going to tell you that this side over here, that looks to be, how about 6 meters. So what we've got here is we're going to, it's a right triangle, so it's eligible to be using primary trig ratios. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and solve. So recall, of course, that the first step is going to be to put a theta on the angle we know or the angle we want to know. So there goes my theta there. And then I'm going to have to label off each of the sides, H, O, A, and theta. Well, H is pretty easy to spot. Here it is right here. Here's H. O, recall that O is always going to be opposite from where I put my theta. So my O is going to go down here, and that leaves A as adjacent as the remaining side. But of course, adjacent is always the side that's attached to the theta that's not the hypotenuse. So there it is there. Then we're going to list out our H, O, A, and theta. And what we're going to do is we are going to fill in any values, including variables that we know. Well, hypotenuse has an x, so there's going to be my x. O is, well, it's 6. And in this case, A doesn't have a value, so I'm going to say, A, you don't get to play today. And then theta, as always, will either have a variable or an actual numeric. It has to have that. So our numeric here is that 27 degrees? I don't know, 27 or 26. Either way, I read it as 27 degrees. So there we go. So 27 degrees. So let's go back here and make sure that that's obviously a 27. All right, so then we're going to say which primary trig ratio am I going to have to use? So I'm going to write out my SOHCAHTOA. And I look and I see, I've got my O and I have my H. So O and H means it is going to be sine. So I'm going to write out, it's of the form sine of theta is equal to first letter, which is O, over second letter, which is H. And so then I'm going to fill in my values. I've got my theta is 27 degrees. So this is the sine of 27 degrees. And we have O, well, O is 6. And H, well, H is X. So here we are. We're in the case where the variable that we're looking for is in the denominator. So it's in the denominator, which means that I'm going to have to solve this differently than what I did before. So here I'm going to walk you through a couple of steps that we can do. I'm going to show you what the true proper way to do this is. And then I'm going to show you the shortcut way that I don't mind if you use. So x is in the denominator, I don't want it there. So I'm going to start by multiplying both sides by x. So over here, the x and the x, they're going to divide out to become 1. So on this side, I'm going to be left with 6. And on this side, I have x times the sine of 27 degrees. And I'm closer to what I want. My x is at least in the numerator now. But now x is being multiplied by the sine of 27 degrees, and I want to get x all by itself. So the opposite of multiplying by the sine of 27 is going to be divide by sine of 27. So there I go. I'm going to divide by the sine of 27 degrees, and I'm going to divide by the sine of 27 degrees. Those guys are going to go away. And so now I have my expression for x. X is going to be equal to 6 over the sine of 27 degrees. Okay, so we are going to type that into our calculator. My pen is being a little bit cantankerous right now. See if I can do this with my mouse. So the sine of 27 degrees. Am I going to get this to work? Sine of 27 degrees. Why are you being difficult? Let's grab the pen tool here. Sine of, 27 degrees. Regardless, I'm going to type that into my calculator. And I would have, of course, then that it would be 6 divided by, I have to make sure that I'm in degrees. So mode, go down and I'm going to hit degrees. So there is degrees. And so I'm going to then type in 6 divided by the sine of 27. And what I'm going to get is the answer is, of course, 13.22. So I should somehow be able to get x, but it's not doing that. So I'm going to fix this in a moment. But we know that the answer to that particular problem is 13.22. Okay, thank you.